What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody out there? Welcome to Uncle Yashua 25 to Life Tales. Another live story tonight. Another live story tonight. All right, guys. This one, we're going back. We're going way back. I'm actually going back to I was a little kid as well. So this one is going to be kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to tell these stories and go back in your life. So I find it kind of intriguing because some of these stories I never told before. So it's very interesting. All right, here we go. This is 25 to Life with Uncle Yashua.
Rolling down 109 in a truck. On my ride, I feel alive, that's what's up. Look to my right and it's a ride rolling up. It's Lucci telling me tonight we in the club. He got the 24 road Escalade. He got the Lamborghini doors like they blades. His hammers ring cause that's how he was raised. His palace mob and tonight we get
I'm from the ghetto, the slums, the rats, the roaches, the bums, the metal that stuns, the addicts, the cracks, the crumbs. The level where funds gets tragic and lavish is none. With rebels, they runs and rabbits like savages' sons. With did him and bigger and swiftly he shined the mud. That city a pity with 50 took 9 of them slugs. This is 25 to Life with Uncle Yashua. Yeah. Rolling down 109 in a truck. I know that song is coming to my people that want that song. I gotta finish the video. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just so busy with the ministry and everything. But I want to say welcome to everybody who's here. Welcome James Johnson, Zayana, Mariam. Welcome everybody who's here. I know you're like, that's it? Yeah, so unfortunately, but it don't matter. We're gonna tell these stories and people see it on the replay. And eventually the channel is gonna grow, like I said. All right, so tonight, also, welcome to Stretchy. Shalom, Stretchy. All right, so tonight, guys, we traveling back. All right, now, this one is very interesting. So it's like, it's an intertwining of stories. So as I said before, to people that watch it at home, and I get this from Unique Mecca Audio's channel too, it's like, I'm a storyteller, so just relax, you know what I mean? And the funny thing is I had people write me, and they write me in the comments and stuff, and they say like, your stories help me get through my day at work, or, you know what I mean, or my night at work when I watch it. So everybody don't want just little short, little quick 20-minute stories, 30-minute stories. Here at Uncle Yashua 25 to Life Tales, these stories are the truth. So these stories have context, and the context, it travels. So just travel along. We're on a journey here, all right? These are real life stories. These are remembering. Praise the Most High for the memory. You know what I mean? That I could even remember these stories from 40 years ago and stuff like that. Shoot, even 50 years ago. Like this one today, we going back. All right. Now, this story we going today is very interesting. So it starts from a little boy. I want to say something to all the parents out there who have your children in the public school B system or whatever. There's something that's called people with late birthdays. Okay, I'm one of those with a late birthday. So my birthday was in the day that I came to Earth. My Earth day is November. Okay, November 1st was my Earth day, right? So for those who birthdays are in November and December, in the New York State school system, if you're not 5 years old, but like by I think it's like September or something, because the New York State school system, it would start, I don't know about now, it would start in September when I was a child, right? So if you're not 5 years old, something like how it works, I don't know. It works something where if your birthday is in November or December, then you go to school early. Like, so I would be 4 years old in this class with all 5-year-olds. So when we would be 7 years old, I'm 6 years old. When they're 10 years old, I'm 9 years old. When they're 13 years old, I'm 12 years old. This, guys, has a detrimental effect on the child because a child, when you're that young, the difference between your age, and this got a relevance to the story, guys. The difference between your age is monumental in your life. Meaning, if you're 7 years old, a 6-year-old is smaller than you, weaker than you, can't run as fast as you. That year in development from when you're a little kid is monumental. Now, when you get up there, I think it stops when you get around the 20s or something, because it still goes in the early teens. You know what I mean? Yeah, it still goes, but when you start to get to the 20s or something, and I got a story coming about that. when when I got my first gun, I called it the Great Equalizer, because that gun, and again, I'm not promoting nobody to get no guns. This is just my trauma from my life growing up. When I got that gun, y'all gonna hear those stories, a lot of those stories. When I got my hand on that gun, because I was like 14 or something like that. It equalized the fact that I couldn't beat these 18-year-olds, these 17-year-olds, even these 16-year-olds, because they're so much bigger than me. Now, when you're really young, 1 year is like 10 years. It's a fact. You can't, unless you're just a big, or your kid or your parents put you in karate or something, and you can beat someone that's older than you. Now, I'm saying this because I had a late birthday, and so because of it, everything that I did, I was always doing with the kids that were older than me. Shalom, Waya, Yashra, Saba, oh, shalom. So everything that I did with these kids, in school. Now this is the effect. When we got to school, and in middle school is when we would play football. All right, so we played football from little league, from little kids. I started playing at maybe 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old, right? And when you get to the middle school, so in New York, and where I was from at this point in Hempstead, Strong Island, we would play in the little league football. You would play pee-wees. You would play, I think it was the pee-wees with the little 5 and 6 year olds. Then I think the midgets. I know that's funny. That's what they call it. The midgets, I think that was 6 or 7 years old. And then the seniors, I think that's when you got up until like 10, 11, something like that. And then after that, you would go to middle school. And now you're playing in middle school. And our middle school started at 7th and 8th grade. So 6th grade was still elementary. Hempstead Middle School, the worst school in the world. Like, yeah, I got some stories coming on that school. And Hempstead High School, one of the worst schools in the country, got burned down and everything. They had a big, the National Guard was called in there and everything. I got some stories coming for that. Now, so anyway, so this affected me my whole life. And this is key relevance to the story why I'm telling you this, because it's a reason why that it fits into this whole entire story. And it started from when I was a little kid. I learned this later as I add up my story in my life. If my parents would have held me from school for 1 year, so I could have went to kindergarten at 5, like the other 5 years old, then I would have been in the 1st grade. We would have all been the same age. In the 3rd grade, all the same age. You see? So then I'm with the kids that are my age, my size, right? So if I'm having a fight and I'm 7 years old, I'm fighting at 8 years old, I'm at a disadvantage. They're bigger, stronger, faster, smarter than me. They're more developed. That year makes a big difference. Now, so I'm a little boy. I'm in the Parkside Projects, Hempstead, Strong Island, right on the hills, and I don't have no parents. My parents abandoned me. So my father lives on kind of like the middle section of Hempstead. He lives in a nice, kind of rich area by the police station. It's not really rich. It's rich for black people. But he lives in like these rich condos. And he got his new wife and my other brother and sister, and they live there. And me and my oldest sister, we live in the projects with my grandmother, his mother. So my father came and took me from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, because that's where I'm originally from, with my mom's in them. And he took me from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and gave me to his mother in Hempstead, Strong Island, and Parkside Projects. So that's how I got there. And then he went back with his new family, and my mom was in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, just doing her thing with my whole family in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. All right, and my mom's had a big family, But my father, they didn't know their family. From I guess from the slavery time and all that type of stuff, their family is disjointed, and their family was from Tennessee. But my mother's family is strictly from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. My grandfather came to Bed-Stuy back in the 40s, and he was from Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, and he was a Hebrew too. He was a rabbi. I'll tell that story another time. Back in the 40s, he started in Ohio in the KKK. He got into a shootout with the Ku Klux Klan. I got these newspaper articles about this too. I don't know if that'd be on my ministry. I don't know if I'm gonna show it on here. But he got in a shootout with the Ku Klux Klan, and he moved to Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and started his temple there. All right, this is back in the 40s, and Marcus Garvey was his boy. That was his homie. All right, now, so all right, just whatever, little backdrop. So I'm in Parkside Projects. I don't have no mom or pop. My pop gave me to my grandmother. My grandmother, she's a grandmother. She's rough. She's a rough lady. No love. She's just tough. Like a tough lady. She don't say I love you. She don't give you no hugs. I knew she loved me because she provided. That's it. Now, so I don't have family. This before I met my big brother, my older brother, Kevin. I only have my sister, but she's like 3 years older than me, and she doesn't like, I don't know, she doesn't like me. That's how I felt. So she just doing her own thing. So I don't have nobody. So I'm in the projects, and I'm by myself, a little boy. That's a hard life. Because usually you have big brothers, big sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts. You know what I mean? When you get into a beef, your cousin or your brother or your aunt or even your uncles or even your dad, if you got a dad. Most people don't have dads. I know that happened to our families, the so-called black people. It happened to us back then. They took the dads out the home in the 60s and stuff. And, so none of us had really dads, but everyone had a mom in the projects. I was the one that had no mom or dad, unfortunate. But I didn't let it set in back then too much. I blocked it out. So I'm saying this because I had a rough, because whenever I would get into a fight and I was tough, but then their big brother or their big sister or their cousins, and then they would jump me, and I had nobody to go get, right? I had no big brothers. I had no uncle. I had nobody. It was just me by myself in the project. So I had to make my own name and make my own way. I had to get it in the mud. There was nobody. And the crazy thing, guys, is I had a huge family. I didn't know this. I got 15 uncles, cousins, and they all in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And my literal mother's grandmother lived in Westbury, Long Island, which is like 15 minutes away, with all my cousins in them, and I never knew them. And I was in Hempstead, and they were in Westbury. That's don't ever do that to your children. Let your children, Shalom Atziyah, let your children know, and Shalom Mariam, let your children know who they are. Let them know who their family members are. Because guess what? I could have slept with one of my cousins and had a doggone baby when I got older, because my stupid in-laws, I call them stupid because they're too stupid to take care of the children and let you know who your family is. So I was, and another thing, I could have shot and killed one of my cousins, not knowing that's my literally first bloodline family. All right, now, so I'm in the projects, and I'm raising myself, and as a rite of passage, we play basketball, which I play, and we play football. So, we don't really play baseball, but some people play baseball. But basketball and football, that was our thing. So football we start from little kids, and we were good in Hempstead. Like we win the championships for we travel for the state, New York State, and then we travel for the country, become the best, little peewee team in football, right? So I go, and everybody is signing up for football, right? And so we used to play football too in our park, right? Campbell Park, and the field, right? The basketball court, and then they have a baseball diamond field, but in the grass for the baseball field, we turned that into football, and it had a fence, so it was big. So we would play football, right? So it's time to sign up for football, and at this time, I'm like 7 years old. You got people already signed up from 6. I think it started at 6 years old, peewees. So I think I'm like 6 or 7, and I want to sign up for football because everybody signed, they sign up for football. So I go tell my grandmother, I'm like, I want to sign up for football. So she always says, all right, he said he need that song. I got you, Charles. I'm finishing up the music video, King. I got you though. So, she says, just go ahead, So my grandmother was the thing. She just let me do whatever I want. She just said, this one thing she literally told me when I was little, and I put it in one of my rap songs. She said, just don't come back in handcuffs or a coroner's van from childbirths, my side worthless, coke bottle covered surface. The CIA and want to see us in hearses or Project Hall, starting wars with hard hats from floor. That song is crack. Fact, my grandma said, she said, just don't come back in handcuffs or in a coroner's van. From childbirths, my side is worthless. Parkside, where I'm from, worthless. Coke powdered, covered surface. Coke everywhere. The CIA want to see us in hearses. They want to see us coming back home in a hearse. See? So that was rhymes I was writing back. Every rhymes I used to write back then was about my life. That's that song Charles wanted to talk about. I'm literally talking about my life. I'm from the ghetto, the slums, the rats, the roaches, the bums, the metal that stuns, the agate, the cracks, the crumbs. Facts. So anyway, that's coming for you, Charles. So my grandmother told me, just don't come back in the back of a police car or in a coroner's van. That was it. Everything else, I had free reign. And then she also, which all of us had to know, that then come back when the street lights come on. When those street lights come on, that'd be like 8 p.m. in the summertime, like 8:30 p.m. But in the wintertime, it'd be like 5:30 p.m. When those street lights come on, you need to be your butt in the house. I didn't make it all the time, so I would get beat. We used to get beat back in the days, beat with some trauma stories too. But anyway, so I went to her and I told her I wanted to sign up for football. And she said, go ahead. Now, I say this because everyone else, their big brothers, and I did this for my little brother Vincent too. I signed him up and I went with him and took him there. I did it for my little son Rashawn too. I was there. Everyone else had someone take them to sign up for football. Their parents, their father, their mom, their big brother, sister, and they drive them in the car and they watch them practice. I remember, that's one time that I remember I felt heavy because I had to walk myself from my projects to the middle school. And I'm a little boy and I had to sign up. And I remember they were looking at me like, where's your mom? Where's your parent? And I'm like, I'm by myself. And they're like, you by yourself? They're like, well, they gave me this paperwork. I don't know what to do with it. I'm a little kid. So I'm like, they're like, well, take this home. You got to take this home and you got to get this signed. And then they gave me these raffles that you got to sell to try to get money up to get the uniform, right? Because I don't have no money to get the uniform. So then I take it and I go back home and my grandmother signed it. And then she did try to help me teach me how to sell the raffles to get the uniform. But then I wasn't too good at selling raffles. I didn't like it. And it's funny because I became a hustler. I was really good at selling, but I didn't like it. I didn't like trying to hustle, going to these people's door. And could you buy, for the football team, could you buy our candy? And if you sign the paper and we deliver the candy to you later. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So then at the end of it all, I came back to my grandmother and this was her. And I was like, she's like, why are you looking? My grandma's mean. What the hell are you looking mad for? What's that face for? And I'm like, boy, what's that face? I said, I didn't sell enough. I think I sold like one box or something stupid. I didn't try to sell no more. I didn't like it. It felt demeaning to me. You know what I mean? I guess I was always a boss inside. So she said, what are you talking about? I said, I can't get my football uniform and today is the last day and I don't have the money because she said, let me see the paper. So she said, boy, you only sold one box of candy? What the hell? I sent you out here 2 weeks ago. I was like, they wouldn't buy it. And I was lying. I'm like, they wouldn't buy it. Nobody would buy it. She didn't know I didn't go. She's like, boy. She said, oh, well, you ain't gonna play no damn football then. I'm like, so I sat in the living room. I was crying. No, I don't think I cried because I had stopped crying. I didn't cry a lot in my life. I learned to be so tough to just take it. So I just sat there moping. And then she came out as she normally do. Get your ass up. Pardon my language, but that's what she would do. She would curse at me. Get your ass up. She was really mean. And I'm like, she's like, come here. She said, take the money. Take this damn money. You go out there, you get that damn football uniform. I said, thank you. Get the hell out of my face. And she always, that's how she raised me. So that's why I said I knew she loved me because she always provided. But she never showed me emotional love. Never a hug, never I love you, never a soft, gentle word. But when I needed something, she would curse me out to hell and high water, but she would give it to me. Always. And that helped stable me. I learned that later when I play back my life. It gave me a stability. It let me know that someone loved me because I didn't know, but in the future, there would be no one that would ever love me because she died. And she's going to die soon in this story. Now, and then I would be left by myself forever. No one. So I took the money. I go down there. I give him the money for the football. Now, I'm on the Pee Wee team. Now, the unfortunate part is I'm 6 and everybody's 7. So they all bigger than me. And I was short anyway. Now I'm tall, but I was short until 9th grade. Boy, that was the roughest. Football, first of all, when you come from a hood, a ghetto, with little badass kids, little John that's fast as all outdoors, and some diesel strong little Tay-Tay who's kind of fat and overweight, he the guard and the center. They put me on the line. Oh, I was tough. I was a little boy on the line. I played guard. I played tackle. Yeah, I played safety, defense. But anyway, so now I'm little, so it's extra hard, guys, because that they tackling like they bigger than me, so it's hard. Now, I used to later when we got a little older, I used to look at when I got to the midgets, I used to look down at the peewees. I'm like, that's the team I was supposed to be on. So I'm looking at the team of people that's in my, in my hood. We the same age. They killing them. Little Booby, Father Boob and them is killing them on the football field. He running touchdown. He running the whole field. The whole team is chasing them. And we the same age. If I was on that team, I would have been a superstar. I'm like, crap. I couldn't. Now, I wish they would have waited and kept me back a year for everything and let me play with the children my age. That's what I'm telling y'all, that part. I know it took a long, but it's going to make relevance to this story. If they would have let your children, guys, I don't know how far Babylon's going to go, but if your children is into sports and all that stuff, make them play with the kids their age. You're giving them a real disadvantage. I would have been a superstar, football and basketball, but I kept playing with people over my age. Now, this is the story. So now, here goes the story. So we playing pee-wee football, midget football, seniors football. Now, when you playing football, I'm from Hempstead, it's huge ghetto. So I'm playing with people from Terrace, people from the Heights, people from Midway, right? So people from Parkside, people from Martin Luther King Drive. These are all ghettos, projects, and hoods where I'm from in Strong Island in Nassau County in Hempstead. All these different hoods in Hempstead. So if you're playing on a basketball football team, everybody from all the different hoods, we end up all on the same team. So you end up knowing people from Terrace. You end up growing up with them because you play with them in the football team and the basketball team. So you end up becoming popular. You know people. So you grow up with these people from all these different hoods that are rival hoods that you wouldn't even know if you didn't play on the sports team. So there was a big advantage. Now, so we growing up together. So we growing up together playing football, and football is such a gladiator sport that we have a camaraderie because we tough. And we playing football against these rival teams, Roosevelt and all these other teams, Westbury and all these other teams and Freeport and stuff. So now once we get to the middle school, now you transition from those leagues to play middle school football. And that's when things shifted. That's when I realized now everybody that was on my age, I was in a higher class. Like I was going to the 7th grade when everybody that was on my team was still in the 6th grade. So when I went to the 7th grade middle school, I went to play football. They were huge. They were bigger than me. Everybody was bigger than me, you know, and my team was still in the 6th grade, and I'm like, I'm supposed to still be with them. So I end up playing middle school football. They were so big, I wasn't as strong. I wasn't as fast. You see, I wasn't, but I was tough, right? It was rough, man. It was rough. Like those hits, those big, I'm trying to tackle them. They would run you over. I would hold on to them. They would drag me. Like it was tough. Those hits and the helmet, I used to get like concussions. Like, and it's because they were bigger than me. Now, this is why it's relevant to the story. So, I would play football. Now, we also had in the park, in Parkside projects, we had a game that we used to do. It used to be called Free for All. For those who are older than us, I don't know if the kids still do it now, but Free for All is a football thing. So Free for All, guys, was all of you, let's say it's 20 of us in the field, 20 or 30 of us, we want to play, we got a football. So instead of playing little football where we pick teams, we used to do that too, where you pick teams and someone be the quarterback and everything, you run, throw the ball and whatever, or like trying to have an organized football team, just you, no uniforms, just you kids in the park from the projects. Free for All was a thing where all of y'all would get together, and what you would do was, it'll be 20 of y'all in the huddle. It's all sizes, big kids, little, it don't matter. Free for All is rough. You don't want to play free for all, you get yourself killed. What someone do is you take the ball and you throw it up in the air. You throw the ball up in the air and it's free for all to catch. The ball is free for all to catch. So when you throw the ball up in the air, whoever catch the ball, they run and everybody go to tackle them. Okay? So they throw the ball up in the air. So what the funny part about it, guys, when they would throw the ball up in the air, you would look at the ball, a lot of people would run from the ball. So nobody want to catch the ball unless you're really tough, because whoever catch the ball, they catch so you can run and tackle them. Everybody run and tackle them. So nobody want to catch, so people used to run from the ball. But I was really tough as a little kid. So I was one of them who gonna go try to catch the ball. Like, so those real tough kids, they'll go catch the ball and then try to run, and you got 20 people, 30 people chasing you to tackle you. Now, Free for All. Now, this one thing we had, I don't know if people in other lands had this or if they still play Free for All. What we had in Parkside Projects in Campbell Park, we had a thing where we would play Free for All, and after, whoever catch the ball, when he run, when everybody run and tackle him, after you tackle them, we had a thing called pile on. P-I-L-E on. Pile on mean after the person, you tackle them and they fall, and then everybody run and they say, pile on! And everybody run and they all jump onto you. I know it's the most dangerous. Watch your kids, guys. Wow. It's the most dangerous thing in the world. You have 20 and 30 and 15 kids jumping on you, they'll pile on you and make a big pile of people on top of you. So once you get tackled and fall, then it's like, pile on! And everybody just run and jump on the pile and jump on the pile. And it's a big pile of people. That is the most dangerous. Now I'm thinking about it, that is literally insane. You could die from the piling on. Now, it's relevant to this story. So, that's Free for All. We would play that. So I was already tough playing football. That's why, we play that from little kids. So that's why, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm ready to play football. Okay, bang. Now, let's fast forward. We're in the middle school. We're going up. The people, my people, you know what I mean? So now we go to, so when we go to middle school, the people who are my age that was on my team, they're the right age. You know what I mean? Like Sean, Radamez and them, certain people was my age, right? So, was the right age to be on the team. So then, now we go to 9th grade. We get into high school. All right, here we go. Now, at this time, before this time, I become the God Rashawn, because knowledge is self, the nation of God's comes, right? And I become also a rap star. from the Nasty Four. The Nasty Four are one of the most famous rap groups at the beginning of hip hop. Ask Busta Rhymes, ask Method Man, ask Biz. Well, Biz is dead now. Ask Chuck D, ask Flavor Flav from Public Enemy. Oh yeah, we legends. So those stories to come. So the Nasty Four is like one of the most famous New York City rap groups from the beginning of hip hop, before rap records and all that, right? So I was a young rap star at 8 years old from the Nasty Four. So I'm like famous, like in the streets and in the hood. So when I go to school, I'm like famous. I'm a rap star type of thing, right? So I have relevance. So now, by the time we go into high school, I'm like famous, because I've been famous from my rap. So now, when we go to ninth grade, we fresh in ninth grade, high school. Everybody's 13, but I'm 12 again, right? So we go to sign up for freshman football. Now Hempstead is a football school, Division I school where you could go pro if you could make it out of the hood. So my goal is I want to be a professional football player. Even though I love rapping, but I love football more. So my goal was I want to be a professional football player. So we get the ninth grade freshman, and everybody's, we sign up for freshman football. So we go to sign up. Now, we go to sign up, and they got the coaches. One of the coaches, he was an assistant coach. His name was Jerry White, Big Jerry White. He's from a hood. I'm from Parkside Projects. He's from Martin Luther King Projects. They right next to. We both on the hills. We're not really rival hoods, but we're just separate hoods. But we're not rivals because we're so close to one another. We be with one another. And the Heights is rivals, Terrace is rivals, Midway is rivals, and the Boondocks is rivals back by Hollywood Store where Prodigy from Mobb Deep and them was from. And the desert where Prodigy and Mobb Deep was Prodigy used to be at too. The desert sided with Parkside. That's why Prodigy's like, I'm from Park Hempstead, closer to Shacks. I'm Parkside in this song, right? So now, so Jerry White is from Martin Luther King Drive, right? So they got their own legends. And Jerry White was a football and he was a sports, he's way older than me. So if I'm like, at this point I'm 12, Jerry's probably 18, something like that. He's way older, they way older than me, and they're big. And Jerry's big. And his brother Ron White was a good basketball player. These are the older OGs, right? So Jerry, unbeknownst to me, I guess he didn't like me. Like something personal, but I never did anything. I think he probably didn't like me, I don't know, because I was for the Nasty Four rap star, and maybe, I don't know, I was from the Parkside Projects, and he was, because I don't know, he just didn't like me, and I didn't know it. So when we went to sign up for the football, my man Rod Jenkins from the Drive, Rasheem, this is when I first became Knowledge Yourself. So now I'm the God Rashawn. So I remember Rasheem was the one that I went to say, yo, what is this Knowledge Yourself? And Rasheem introduced me to Allah Education from Queens, and Allah Education's little brother, Raleek, that's where I got those that became my enlightener. That's how I became righteous. I'll tell that story on another story. So Rasheem was being primed for the quarterback, and Rasheem is like 2 years older than me. So remember, if I'm 1 year younger, you can have 1 year older, and then someone else whose birthday is early gonna be 2 years older. So they're even bigger. So Rasheem was gonna be a quarterback. These are my people. Everybody on the team is my people. So we go to, for tryouts for the freshmen, and I'm doing my thing. I'm not as fast as them. I'm not as strong as them, but I'm tough. Like, I'm tough. You could put me on a line. Like, I'm a beast mode tough, right? I'm that little tough football player, right? So I'm doing my thing, and the dude, Jerry White, is just like, he's discriminating against. I could feel it. So we be all together, and he'd be like, Rasheem, Sean, this one, everybody, and then he'll just leave me out. And I kept like, dude, this dude keep leaving me out. And my team, they looking at me like, yo, tell Rashawn, like, bring Rashawn. He's part, like, we family. We all play football from little kids. Like, they like, bring Rashawn. And he like, no, y'all get out there. And I'm like, and I'm just sitting on the side. And I feel the kind of way. I keep looking at him. And he'll do stuff. He'll look at me and then turn his head. And I'm like, damn, what this, like, this dude. So then we kept going for practice. And I remember we was talking one time. And I told Sean them, I said, I don't think I'm going to make it. I think he's going to cut me. It's like, man, you ain't getting cut. Nigga, we family. We were playing football. I was like, this dude don't like me. I'm like, this dude going to cut me. So then we went to the day of saying who gonna make the team, and they came out, and we was all out on the field, and they came out, the head coach, and then he came out, and he had the little clipboard, and they saying everybody's name who made the team, and he said, if we don't say your name, you didn't make the team. And he didn't, and he's saying people's name, and all my boys get up and they walk up. And everybody clapping. All my boys get up, and people I play football with from a little kid, they all get up and they walk. And he didn't say my name. And the whole team's like, yo, what about Rashawn? He's like, if your name ain't on the list, then you ain't on the team. And I remember one of my boys like, if Rashawn ain't on the team, then I ain't playing on the team. And he's like, well, then get up, then you ain't on the team. One of my boys quit for it. And I was like, nah, it's okay, guys. It's all right. Because then they was like, and then he was like, everybody who ain't in the team, goodbye. And they was going to start practice, and they was going to start giving out uniforms. So as I'm walking away from the field, I'm looking back, and they giving out uniforms, and giving out numbers. And that right there, guys, changed my whole life. So, Jerry White, if you watch this video, if someone's sending it to you, you don't realize what you did changed my whole life. Shalom, Chase. That was a trajectory that affected the rest of my life. Because of football, I was making sure that I went to school, and because you need to have good grades to stay on the football team. After he did that, there was nothing for me to attain for, to look to be. I was already in the projects with nothing but drug dealers. But football kept me from doing anything because I had to study and get my grades good so I could stay on the football team. And once he did that, I just lost hope. Like, there was nothing else. And what was left was the streets. I had my rap career, Nasty 4, but that hip hop wasn't a thing. It was no rap records. You wasn't making money. It was before everybody hated hip hop. It's before rap records, before Rich, before Rakim, before Public Enemy, but it's before all of that. I was a rap star before all of it, before Nas, before Jay-Z, before all of it. It was just in the streets. We would get money from shows and winning rap battles, but it wasn't a record deal. It wasn't a future or career. It was football. It was all we had was basketball and football. And where I'm from, it wasn't no entertainment trying to be a movie star or nothing like that. It was just sports. That's it. So I lost my drive. So the next thing was it was either sports or the drug dealers. And pimps and stuff had went out with the 70s. We right now in the 80s, the early 80s, the beginning. And it was the drug dealers. So at 12 years old, I started hustling. I'll tell that story another time. And I never looked back. By 12 years old, I started hustling. By 14, I was ready to buy a car. Now, I know this sound, in today's time, it sound like anybody get a, nah. Grown people didn't have cars back then. I was 14. All right? Now, so, he cut me from the football team. Now, I'm trying to deal with it emotionally because I got to go to school and still see them. So now this before I started hustling, really, this right after he cut me from the football team, we would play football in the park. So now I'm cut from the football team. So now I want to play football because I can't play with them in school. So now I'm itching to play football. So I get home and they're playing free fall in the park. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to play free fall. Bang. So we go, we play free fall. I got a chip on my shoulder because I just been cut from the team. So I'm kind of pissed. So I'm like, want to take it out on playing football. Like rough. It's like if you stress, you want to box and hit the bag. So we go to play free fall. So as they throw the ball up, I'm trying to catch every time the ball go up, I'm trying to run and catch it so I can run and shake people and run until they tackle me. So they throw the ball up. Now we've been playing for a while. This one time, I'm speaking of this one instance. They throw the ball up. I run. I see it up. I run. I look. You see about 2 or 3 people trying to run to catch it, but everybody else want to wait. They don't want to catch the ball because they want to tackle. I run. I catch the ball. Boom. I start running. It's fun to me. I laugh when I'm running because it's fun. So I'm running. And they chasing me. I'm dipping, diving, boom, boom, boom. Then they tackle me. Somebody hit me, boom. Then somebody else come, boom. Then I'm dragging, right? Because I'm strong. I'm really strong as a kid, right? I'm real strong. I'm still strong like that. So I'm dragging them. So one is on my leg, one is up here, and I'm dragging him. Then another one come, boom, he hit me. I almost fall. So I'm dragging him, right? So I got 3 of them. Another one come, boom. So now I'm dragging 4 of them. I'm like, y'all can't take me now. Y'all can't take me now. And then one come from the front. And it's so funny because I see him. So I'm talking crap. Y'all can't take me now. Y'all can't take me now. And I look up, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody's coming 400 miles an hour. And I'm like, I look up, I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be bad. And he comes, and he just, boom. Now they holding me. I'm up. And he just, boom. And I go back. Boom. And when I go back, I fall backwards, but my leg is behind me. My right leg is behind me. So I fall backwards and my leg is like backwards. And so my leg is backwards and it's like backwards and the thigh part is to the side. It's like a L. So I fall backwards, my leg is going backwards, but the other part is this way. So it's like an L. If you put your leg behind you like this and put it to the side where it makes an L. So when I fall back, boom, my leg it goes crack. So when I fell back, it goes crack. And I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, before I can even scream, right, it's to the side, right? It's sideways. Before I can even scream, I'm like, you know how there's so much pain, you try to scream, but nothing comes out? Like air? It's like, eh. And before I can even do anything, I just hear, pile on! Yo, I hear, pile on! And I can see it looked like 100 people running. And I said, no! I'm like, no! I'm trying to say, guys, don't pile on! One person jump on, boom! And it goes, crack! And I'm like, ah! And another person jump on, boom! And it goes, crack! And every time someone jump on, it goes, crack! 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 And it's like, crack! Till I'm flat on my back, and my leg is to the side. And it's like, I guess it's like broken or something. It's like, and I'm like, ah! But they can't hear me because they're having fun. So they're like, pile on. And it's like, and I'm like, no. And they just jump on, boo, pile on, boo. And I'm under the pile and I'm laying, I'm like, please get off. I'm like, it's just, guys, the pain is so insane that they just keep jumping on. Boom, 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 pile on. And it's getting darker and darker and darker for the more people because you can see the light. But as the more people pile on, it's a crowd. They like crowding on you. They're piling on. And I'm just under the pile and they just piling on me. I can't breathe. I'm like, get off, guys. Get off. I'm like, get off. So I literally had to, under the bottom of the pile, just try to, the pain, it's like pass out pain, but I had this thing, I guess the Most High put in me that I don't pass out. It's hard to knock me out. Like I've been hit, I got another story, I've been hit with a bat in the head and all of that. And I don't go out. Like, I don't know, it's just a thing. So it's hard to knock me out. So, and I'm just saying, I don't say nobody in the world, don't try to be knocking me out. I'm just saying. So I can't, usually you would pass out from the pain, but I don't pass out. So I'm sitting there. So only thing I can do was still my body to try to not die from not being able to breathe, from them piling on. And from the pain, when your body, when that level of pain, your heartbeat races, you start sweating, and so the breathing becomes shallow. So I'm like, and they keep piling on, and I'm like, okay, I knew better. I needed to just calm myself. So I was just like trying to just breathe. And the pain, it's just too much. It's so much that your body like becomes numb to it. Like your body just acclimates to the pain and just ignores it or something. It's like a numb thing. I guess it's a survival instinct we have as humans. So as they're piling on, I'm just like, just breathe. Because sooner or later they'll get off. Because that's what we do for pile on. Once the last person pile on, if it's 20 of us, and everybody pile on and they go, hee, we all laughing, and then they'll start to get off. So then I'm just sitting there like, just breathe. And then all of a sudden, I could feel it getting lighter, the weight. And they start to get off. And then as they start to get off, I could see more of the light from the sun. And they're getting off, and I could just see more of the light, more of the sun. And I'm like, oh, right? I'm like, oh. So then when they get off, the one who was on my chest, the one who was the first, like kind of the first one that fell on me, when he was getting up, he looked at me and he said, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, call my grandma. I said, call my grandma. He said, what? Get up. I said, call my grandma. And then you hear, ilk. Ilk is the word that we used to say when we was little for anything that's disgusting. Ilk. I don't know if they still say that now, but we used to say ilk. Ilk! For anything ugly or disgusting. You just hear people going, ilk! Ilk! Everybody, and they started running. Yeah! They running. And everybody, and then the dude, he like, oh! He started running. He said, go get his grandmother. So he started running. I'm going to get your grandmother. So, guys, I'm half dead, right? So I look up, and I look to the side, and I'm like, my leg, that thing it's just a separate leg. It ain't a part of my body no more. It's just disjointed. It's just over to the side and that way and just flat. And that is when I tried to move. Worst thing. I tried to move, and when I tried to move, I guess that's when my body said, okay, he's back functioning again. We can make him feel things again. I I try to move and the pain said, I said, oh, yo, dude. The pain. So then people started to come. So adults and big kids from the basketball court, because everybody went screaming. So everybody's coming to see what's wrong. So big kids come and they like, yo, go get his grandmother. They was like, call the ambulance, right? So some we don't know, somebody tried to lift me up. Worst thing you could do. He tried to lift me up. He like, go pick him up so we can get his leg from under him. He tried to lift me up and my leg was dangling. And it was like dangling. He like, oh, and he dropped me. Boom, oh! And they said, don't touch him. Because, you know, a younger kid tried, they said, don't touch him. And that pain, he dropped me in my leg. I was like, and that's when I felt also my ankle. So when he dropped me, I felt a different pain. Before, the pain was all up here that I felt. So when he dropped me, I felt a different pain. And I was like, oh! And I looked down and my ankle was like this red and turning colors. And I'm like, oh, because, you know, we have my shorts. It is because it's still not winter. It's beginning of the school year. So it's still not cold yet. So I'm like, whoa. And it was like purple turning colors and big and skin. And I'm like, oh. So then the ambulance comes. The ambulance comes. My grandmother didn't even come. She was, I don't know. By the time they got her, the ambulance came. Well, not that she didn't love me or nothing, but I don't know. Maybe my grandma was like, whatever. Call it. I told you my grandma was tough love. She was just tough. Like, whatever, the ambulance will take care of herself. I told them stop playing or whatever. So the ambulance come. They put me in, whatever. They take me. Now, what happened to me, guys? I fractured. I sprained my ankle, right? Sprained my ankle. I broke my knee, and I fractured my hip. So my whole leg was in three parts, a three-part mess. My hip was fractured, my knee was broken, and my ankle was sprained from twisting. And so I was on crutches for almost 2 years. It was horrible. 9th grade high school, I'm on crutches. Now, I say this because I only went and played that football because you, Jerry White, because you cut me from the team and I needed to fulfill my football because I wouldn't have, because I would have been at football practice. I would have been with my team with a uniform on. I wouldn't have been playing free fall because we didn't play free fall during football season. Now, that right there was my first instance with Big Jerry White. So he didn't know, unbeknownst to him, I don't like him. Because, first of all, I blamed him for my broken leg, right? But second of all, he cut me from the team. Now, here we go. Fast forward. I'm the guy at Rashawn. Now we go into 1992, guys, the crack era, the crack wars. Y'all remember the stories when caught me at the phone booth, when they came to get me. This story I'm telling right now was the same time as the Big Kev Sullivan story, Big Kev Sully, when his little brother Fam, when me and X-Man had the shootout, trying to trick Fam, and then we end up getting mad at each other and really try to shoot each other. That story. This is that same time. This is when I'm running my block in 1992. So, as I said, every now and then, someone would come and try to take over, try to hustle on my block. My hours was from 12 a.m. to 6 in the morning. And my thing was, you got this street, Elm Street on Parkside Projects between I think that's Laurel and South Franklin, you got that anytime before 12 at night and anytime. But at 12 at night, that's my block, lockdown. Because I put in blood and sweat from all those stick-up, remember the shootouts with those dudes coming to kill everybody. I put in so much work that I'm like, I claimed it. It was mine because of life and death of shooting out with all them people coming trying to kill me. Those stick-up kids, those Freeport dudes that was coming. I got more of those stories coming. It ain't over yet. Now, so this is that exact time. So this is literally, I think this is either after the Kev Sully thing, that story where me and X-Man had a shootout with one another, or right before. But it's right at the same time. All right, now, check this one out, guys. All right, 92 is on. My block is pump, pump, pump. I'm in crazy mode, shooting out all the time. I come to the block. As I pull up, remember I told you I used to unbrake down the bike, ride up, because I parked the car in the desert, and then drive up. I drive up. Sconey and Mike come up. They like, oh, we got a problem, Ra. I'm like, what is it now? Big Jerry is on the block. I'm like, Big Jerry who? Big Jerry White from the Drive. I'm like, now, Jerry had been hustling. So at a time before that, Jerry was a sports star. He's a football player, basketball player. He's a star. He's a good football player, big too. 6'5", like 280 pounds, just big, and locks, right? And dark skin, big, dark skin warrior, Ashanti warrior looking like, you know what I mean? Warrior king, huge, right? And no joke, play football and sports, no joke. I'm quite sure he could fight his butt off, but I never seen him because ain't too many people gonna try to fight him, right? And he's just like a legend, right? They older than me, I looked up to them. That's why I don't know why he didn't like me. I'm like, I look up to you guys. I don't like that stuff, but whatever. So anyway, but by the time, guys, crack had took over our hood so much that, shout out KD Kid, shout out King. So by the time crack took over the hood, even like regular people started hustling to make money, because that was the real only way that we could make money. You know what I mean? Crack became the way to pay your bills. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what they pushed into the hood. This is what they pushed into the ghettos to the people of the book. That's who they was. It's the children of Yasharal in the scriptures. Y'all better read Deuteronomy 28. They fed it to the people of the book to decimate our hood so that we can stay under the curses we were under from our ancestors. So anyway, so crack tore up our hood so bad that even the local good guy, the local postman, mailman, the construction worker, they was either using it to school teachers or selling it. It was no gray area. You was either using crack or selling crack. There was very few neutral when it first was released, back in the crack era, in the 90s, the late 80s and the early 90s, the crack era, when it was first released. There was no gray area. It decimated our hoods, right? This is the New York City crack era, all right? So people like Jerry White, who was a straight shooter, a sports star, had good jobs, wasn't a street person thug, they started hustling to make money. So Jerry was hustling. Now, I knew that already, because we all know who hustling. So Jerry was a type, he was a type of hustler. It's so funny back then. So Jerry was a type of hustler. He would go anywhere. I would call them floaters. And, he was so popular, everybody knew him. But, and he was all big. So Jerry would go anywhere. And Jerry was the type, this was in 92. This is what we had in New York City in 92. Other boroughs, Brooklyn, Queens, let me know. This is what was happening in Hempstead, Strong Island. This is what we were doing. I don't know if y'all was doing that. We had this thing called loose, guys. Now remember, I'm not promoting drugs. I'm just telling factual stories. This is crack. We had this thing called loose. What loose was back then we would package our crack up. I think we were still in vials, these crack vials. It's these little crack vials, and they have tops, like little caps. It's little tubes, and we would get it from uptown, from Harlem, right? This was back then before they started selling it in Queens and long bodegas and stores on Long Island. But at the beginning, it was only in Harlem. So you would have to go up to Harlem and to the little bodegas and to the stores and buy the crack vials. They would bring open, at the beginning, they used to have a book. That's so funny. They would open up like a notebook. They would open the book, and in the book would have all these little crack vials taped to the page, and you would pick the size you want. They have short ones, long ones, thick ones, wide ones with different colors. So you have color tops. That's where you get the yellow top crew from Harlem, for those who know about those stories. So you would pick yellow top, a blue top, a red top. So let's say the yellow top crew, they picked yellow tops, and so they were known for having a yellow top crack valves. They would probably pick a size, so you could put nicks. The small ones you could put $5 in. A little bigger ones you could put $10 in. You could put $20 in. You could even put $50 in the bigger crack valves. Back then, I think we were selling dimes. Yeah. No. We started selling nicks, because I remember 2 for 10s and then 3 for 10s. I got this story coming with Tommy and them. Tommy was giving out 5 for 10. 5 little nicks for $10. I couldn't compete with that. That's a whole nother story. That was a crazy story. That one's crazy. It involved killing. That one's gonna be a real episodic story. So I'm selling nicks because the crackheads would come with $3. So you're gonna need nicks. Because listen, if I only got dimes and they come and they only got $3 and they trying to beg me, please, Rashawn, please, and I had a good heart. Now I'm gonna take a $7 loss. Nah, I need nicks, so that's only $2. Here, bring me my $2. You know what I mean? So, all right, so now I know. Yes, nicks. So anyway, so you would package it up in vials, but then later it became the little plastic bags. So this is before the baggies, guys. All right? For those who, and again, I'm not promoting drugs. This is just the life that we lived back then that decimated our people. And I served my time for all of these crimes. I went to jail and I served my time. And now I'm a new man in the Most High, just telling my testimonies. So, and this is what they pushed on our people. So back then, we still had crack valves. So now they have a thing, guys, called loose. Now, what loose is, I would still package my stuff, because this is where the triple beam scale come in at too. This before the little handheld scales. We still had triple beams, the big old triple beam. I had a big triple beam. You know how to rock the triple beam. So the reason why I would package it, because I need to know how much I'm making off every cent. Because if I used to always just want to double my money, not triple and quadruple, because I want to make it big enough and good enough. As long as I double my money, then I know my product will be big enough and it'll be good enough. So I'm not watering it down, making the crack with extra baking soda, right? So I would keep it called the bells. Remember the other story? Ding, ding, dong. I had the bells. So people come from everywhere because I bring it back to the oil. My whip game was crazy. So I bring it back to the oil, and it's just raw bass, just raw crack, just raw, right? And then I would make it big. So I only want to double. Now, so I would package up all my stuff so that I can know how much I'm making, the count. I know I'm double. Other people were a lot more just fluid with it. Jerry was one of them. Now, you have these people, and the fiends love this loose thing. Now, I'm about to tell y'all something about this. I know other people in other boroughs, if you did this other states, y'all know what I'm talking about. So what the loose was they would come out and they would put their crack in this a plastic Ziploc baggie, right? So they would come out. This was Jerry. Let me just use Jerry. And the other loose people, I hate the loosies. Loose people, I'll be like, I'll run you off my block. Get away from me, because you spoil the fiends. The fiends are all going to run to you. Now, so what they would do, Shalom, Amar Yashua. So what they would do, Jerry, I'm going to keep it on Jerry, because this story is about Big Jerry White. Jerry, and he did his time too. So, you know, Jerry, these are just true stories. He did his time. He's a legit hardworking man. All right. So again, just telling stories. All this is past tense, and he did his time, and I know because I was in jail with him. All right. So anyway, he would come out, and he would have a big baggie full of crack, right? And what they would do was they would go, and as the fiends come up, they would just dig in the bag and just give you. So the fiend would come up and say, I got $20. They would dig in the bag and just put rocks in your hand. You could probably get $100 worth of crack from them doing that, right? And so with me, I might be trying to give you a deal. I'll give you 2 for 10 or 3 for, or if you spending 20, I might give you 5 for 20 or 6. Or, if you spend 100, I'm going to give you a little extra. I'm going to give you some nice. But you still can't compete with these fools doing this loose. They would just drop a bunch of rocks in your hand. So you can't compete with it. So they'll mess up your block. So Jerry would go around the different hoods, and what he would do, he would just come out with a big bag of loose. That's what they call it. And so it'll travel through the hood. All the crackheads would be like, Jerry they got loose. Loose is at the shacks. They got loose on South Franklin. They got loose, so you'll hear the crackhead. They'll run from you. So it's so funny. Let's say I'm hustling, and I got people waiting. They buy, and somebody come up and be like, they got loose on South Franklin. All the crackheads say, sorry, and they'll just leave you standing there like, yo. They'll leave and run to go find the loose because they know they could probably get 10 times the amount for this fool out there giving loose. And it's foolish to me because you risking your life selling this crack. If you get caught with this crack, they're going to give you 20 years. You can get your whole life taken. You risking your life being killed, and you're going to sit up there and just be giving away your profit. I didn't play with it because I knew I was risking my life. But it's all I had. I couldn't get a job. I didn't know nobody. I had kids. I just had to survive. That's all I knew. I didn't know no better. I didn't have no parents, nobody to help me out, do nothing. So, but I knew better. I didn't play with it. Now, yeah, Amar, the crack candy store. That's a good one. Literally. So all the fiends would just run. That's a good one, Amar. They probably like the candy store on South Franklin. Somebody such and such is out there because the guard used to do it too. I forgot his name. The guard at the shacks, he used to give out loose. And every time he come out, when I get to my block, Amar, I'm like, where all the fiends? And like the guard out there giving out loose at the shacks. I'm like, well, they'll be back after he go home. After he sell it, because you sell it fast. Like your whole bag will be gone in a hot minute, and you done lost a probably. Let's say if you got $10,000 in that bag, you probably only gonna make $3,000 when you could have made 10. That's how much you lost, you gave out. So it's really stupid to me, right? Back then. Now, again, not promoting this, but this is just the reality. So now, Jerry was known, let me stop saying his last name. Jerry was known for the loose game, right? So now I pull up, and Mike and Sconey, they pull up, and they like, I can see Mike's face. I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, we got another issue. I'm like, who now? What now? He like, Big Jerry. Like, who? He like, Big Jerry White from the Drive. I'm like, he here? I said, please tell me he ain't on my block with that loose. He said, you ain't gonna believe this, Ra. He's standing right in front of Sister Brown. If Jerry see the story, he's gonna laugh because I know he's gonna remember this. He said he's standing right in front of Sister Brown house under the street light on the corner, and he got a big bag of loose in his hand, and all the fiends just keep pulling up to the corner. He said, Ron, we can't make a penny. He said, I just want to tell you, this is Mike. Mike said, I just want to tell you, Ron, I just want to be honest. I've been buying the loose from him all night and making my money. I said, don't feel bad, Mike. He like, Ron, he giving out a whole handful. He like, I gave him $20. He dropped like $200 worth of crack in my hand. I'm like, it's all good. I said, you good? He said, I'm good. I said, all right. I said, we about to open up shop. He said, but Rob, we can't make no money. He said, nobody is buying nothing. Everybody. So I'm like, all right. I said, here, take your packages. Y'all go. I said, I got it. Just go. So they left. So now I pull up. I'm riding up. So I start to get near the corner because we're a little further down by King's Temple Church, for those who know Hempstead, before we get to the corner of Elm and the dead end, the projects. He's standing in front of Sister Brown house, across from Mighty K house. That's the yard when I was in the bushes. This is the corner where those dudes came with all those texts. The first corner when I was in the bushes with the bike. And I was watching them and I had to back up, right? That's that corner. So I ride up, guys. And when I ride up, I look and I'm like, all I see is this big, Jerry looked like the Predator. Cause he got locks, and he's huge, like 6'5", 280, big, muscles, lifting weights and all that, football player. So I pull up and he's just huge, and all I see, and he's standing under the street light. So he's like, this fool is crazy, Jerry crazy. That's why I said this fool is crazy. He would always do that. He wouldn't go in the dark and try to hide in case the police come. He would go wherever he he'd go right in the middle of the street. He would be literally in the middle of the street, and all the feeds around him just giving out. Like Amar said, shoot, get it for the low. He just giving out crack for free, basically, right? So I'm riding up, and I look, and I'm like, this damn fool. First of all, you making my block hot. You know what I mean? Because we stay in the cut, guys. So I got all of my lieutenants and stuff. They all in all black. I got on all black. We all wear all black, and then we stay. And remember, I used to always shoot out the street lights, right? So I would always shoot out the street light, night street light. Y'all seen that? Y'all seen the video, right? Night street light, right? But Lilco, Long Island Lighting Company, will always come and fix it, right? So I didn't shoot out. So I stopped shooting out Sister Brown, that corner street light, because Sister Brown and Mighty K grandmoms got on me. They like, stop shooting our street light out over our house. So I said, okay, I'm gonna leave their street light. It's at that's at the beginning of the corner. So I would, in the middle of the block, I would shoot out the street lights where I would sit, where we held shop at. So I would always shoot those out. Yeah, I remember that story, right? So I would leave the street light on that corner. So this fool is making my block hot, because he's standing on the corner under the street light, and there's a crowd of fiends. It looked like a doggone party. I pull up, there's like 30 fiends. They all around scratching, and everybody, I'm like, what in the, I'm like, if the cops come up, they're going to see. I'm like, this dude. So that made me mad. So I start pull up, and so as I'm riding my bike, now he knows, now Jerry White, he knows this. He knows that it's my block. Let me give y'all some context. He knows, because it's already then filtered through the hood that Rashawn is tripping, right? That I'm like trying to claim the block. And usually from then, nobody own no block. You don't own the shacks. You don't own the projects. You don't own South Franklin. It's a free-for-all for all of us who from Parkside. But Parkside is a place, it ain't like Terrace. Nobody could come sell there unless someone bring you. Unless somebody from Parkside bring you there, oh, you come try to set up shop on Parkside, you're going to get killed. Facts. Terrace was a free open market where you could come from Brooklyn, Bronx, Roosevelt, Freeport, where everybody could come on Terrace. It was just an open market. Terrace is no joke. Killer, Terra Ave, killer season. But that's where Rock Marciano is from, the rapper, and that's where Method Man is from, before his mom moved him to Staten Island. Because I got that story with Method Man, our childhood coming too, with me and Meth. So, because he was getting in trouble. He would have been probably dead on. That's where he told that story. So anyway, now, so ain't nobody coming on Parkside. So now, anyway, so I'm pissed, right? So I pull up, and all I see is this crowd, like a party on the corner. And I'm like, dude, the police will be here. They coming. You know what I mean? And then they're going to make my block hot, because if they come, they might set up a car. They might set a car right at the dead end. So now, and if they set a car on South Franklin, now I'm screwed. Now the fiends ain't really got no way to get. Now I'm like, dude, because I keep it quiet. Besides shooting out the street lights, I try to have nobody do no beef. Ain't no beating up no fiends, no, keep quiet. The quiet you keep, the less the police come, the more we can make our money in quiet. Now again, I'm not promoting this. This was just our life from the curses, the trauma. This was the life that Unc was placed in, right? Now, so I pull up. Now, okay, that's where I was at. Now remember, now Jerry White, guys, he knows this is my block. Okay, there we go. That's where I was at. My name is already ringing the bells from all the shootouts, right? This is after all the shootouts with the stick-up kids. I'm literally insane. Like, I'm literally crazy at this point. I've been shooting at these stick-up kids so much that I would just shoot anything. This the first time I was really literally insane. Like, literally. Like, I was just crazy. So he knows. And he knows that I'm claiming this block. And anybody that come, I'm bringing it to them and letting them know you can't, nobody's hustling from 12. And I don't care who watch it from, come on here. Because some of these people be hating guys, just so y'all know from my hood, Hempstead be a lot of haters. And they'll say, man, come on here and let me hear you say that this wasn't a fact. And matter of fact, I'm going to have Ty and them. I'm going to have people come on here to tell their stories anyway. Again, y'all know, Unc, I don't play no games. Receipts for everything. But anyway, sorry, I'm digressing a little. He knows that I'm putting it in, right? And I'm claiming a block. So what Jerry is doing is he's blatantly doing it. It's like a blatant disrespect. Okay, so now I pull up. And when I pull up, he's standing on the corner and he's literally like giving away crack, right? And he's making money and he's taking the money and just stuffing it in his pocket. He's not even looking. I seen all this. He's like just grabbing the money. He ain't even counting it. And fees will get you, right? They'll tell you it's $20 and it'll be 13 but balled up. You know what I mean? It'll be balled. Fees will try to trick you in any way they can, right? So I make them open that up and count it. I need to see, because it's never 20, right? I got 20, Ra. I got 20, Ra. I'm like, open up and count it. It's 20, Ra. It's open it and count it. It's 16. Exactly. Right. So they always do that. So Jerry is just taking the money. No matter what they give him, he just taking it and stuffing it in his pocket. So his pocket's just getting bigger and bigger. His pockets is like this. He just stuffing it. He just So I think that what his philosophy was, he just going to come out, and the other looses, they're going to come out and just keep giving you the loose, and just till the bag is all gone, and they go home. And I guess whatever. I don't know. Is they getting the crack for free or something? I don't know how they're able to do this, right? It's just ridiculous to me. So anyway, I pull up, and he looks at me. And he looked at me when I pull up, and he gave me like a smirk. He looked at me like, yeah, I'm here. Like, yeah, I'm here, Igga. And what you gonna do about it? That type of look. So I looked, I'm like, oh. And immediately, guys, a flashback came from when he cut me off the football team. Now, remember, this is like, so that was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is like 6 to 7 years later, you know? And I'm a big boy now, you know? I'm like, you know, and I'm Rashawn, like I'm cemented, I've been put it in. I was a legend before, but now I'm a big boy now. So he looked at me like, yeah, that's right, I'm here. And he looked at me and he just turned from me like, whatever. He like to flick his hair. You know how somebody flick their hair? He like to flick his hair. He just turned from me, and then he just went back to selling the crack, right? And I looked and I said, this fool. So I stopped. And I just stopped and I'm just looking at him, guys. And he just, a crack candy store. That's a good one, Amar. A crack candy store, right? So he's just giving out and I'm just looking at this fool, and the fiends, you know, they looking at me, and you know, fiends, they love me because I took care of them. So fiends are coming, they apologizing, right? So they coming up, they're like, I'm sorry, Rob. But he giving out a lot. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'll be back, Rob. After this, once he run out, you know, he's gonna be gone, and then I'll come back. I'll make up for it. I'll bring you money. You know, they had loyalty to me because I took care of them when they didn't have anything. I always had a good heart. Again, selling crack. I know it's bad, but I'm sorry. This is our reality, right? So, and I did my time. So they coming up, they apologizing, and they buying the crack, right? So I look at him. He just making money. He keep looking over there like, yeah, this is how it's done. You know? And I said, this fool. So I just rode. I rode around the corner. Guys, I had to go wide around the corner because that's how many crowd was on the corner of Fiends. So I went around the corner and then I went up my block. So I got to the middle of my block. So Mike and them, they like, so what you gonna do, Ra? He's like, we can't make nothing. He messing up everything. So I said, all right, give me a minute. Let me go. I got to go hit Shelly Shell off. Y'all remember from the story. I got to go hit Shelly Shell off, then I'll be back. So I took off. I went to ride to go around the corner, hit Shelly Shell. As I'm riding up, I'm looking. He just standing there under the street light. It's like, this dude is crazy. I literally looked at him. I said, this dude got to be crazy. Because he's under a street light like the police, like, if they come up, they can see you from down the block, right? So he under the street and he just giving out his cracks. Like he got the crack candy store in the corner. So I turn the corner, I go to Shelly Shell house, I come back, he's still out there. So when I come back, he looking at me, come back up the street, he look at me like, yeah, nigga, this my street. Like, my street. And I'm looking at him like, this fool. So I drive back down to Mike and them. So they ain't made a penny. I'm like, what y'all got? They like, we ain't made a cent. They like, he shut the whole block down, bro. I said, all right, I got this. So I said, all right, what am I doing? So now I'm sitting there, I'm on the bike, I'm thinking. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? So I said, this is Jerry. So I said, first of all, Jerry White is a legend. I know he don't know this, but I really respected him. Right? He's going to learn this now if he watched this. If he's still alive. I don't know. I think he's still alive, though. Somebody from Hempstead, if you get in the comments, let me know if Jerry's still alive. So I was like, I really respect him because I grew up under them. I always respected the elders, the ones who put it in. I looked up to them, you know. So I had a respect for him, even though he was violating. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to shoot Jerry. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. Like, I'm not going to shoot Jerry. You know what I mean? He didn't try to bring it to me or nothing. So I was like, I got to get him out of here, though. What am I going to do? So then I said, I know what to do. I said, this is before X-Men. So this is before the Kev Sully's thing. This is before I bought X-Men out there. Because I was by myself. So I said, I know what I'm going to do. Since he wanted to blow up the spot, I'm going to blow up the spot. So I said, all right, I got y'all. We'll be back in business in a hot minute. So I got on the bike. I rode up. When I got to the corner, he's standing there. So he's looking at me. Like, I'm like, yeah, he literally looked at me like, what you gonna do? Right? So I said, this fool. So I'm on the side by Mighty K house. He on the other side of the street. I'm just sitting on the bike looking at him. So he's making his sales. So he finished giving somebody the crack. He got other fiends standing around, whatever. So he's sitting there, he's stuffing money in his pocket. So he's sitting there. So then he looked over at me. So I said, what up, Joe? He said, what up? And he said my little kid government name. Not Rashawn. Now, for anybody to know, see, for the children of Yasharel, that's why I said, whose name do you come in? Because the Muslims come in the name of Allah. The gods come in the name of Allah. I'm Rashawn. You ain't calling me no beast slave master's name. That's the ultimate disrespect. You might as well call me an igger, right? In the negative sense. So he says my government name because he knew me from a little boy. Again, he knew me from a little kid playing football and all the little league and all that. He knew me, so he purposely said my little, I ain't gonna tell y'all he said my little name. And I'm like, I said, this fool, this dude is really wants to disrespect me, right? And I'm trying to give him a pass, right? Because I'm like, I looked at him. He said, what's up? Hey, right? And I'm like, wow. He said, you good? I said, yeah, I'm good. He said, all right, that's what's up. There's money out here. A lot of money out here. Listen what he said. He said, yeah, I ain't know it's this much money here. He said, I need to come here every night. I said, oh my goodness. I'm like, Jerry, you are a fool. I said, number one, and this is a big mistake. I never made this mistake. Don't ever, for those that are still in the hood that watch this story, don't ever live off your past reputation. Don't ever get so cocky and comfortable that you think there ain't some new kids that's turning 12 and 13 and 14 who won't clap your butt, who don't care about your old legacy, about who you was. That's how I was when I was little with Supreme Team and Fat Cat and all the other legends. Oh, I was a beast mode. I had zero fear. People was like that feared them from their reputation. I had no fear because I was too young. When you're young, you stupid, right? You stupid. Like that's why 50 Cent was bringing it to Supreme and them. The rapper 50 Cent, he had no fear of them. He like, yeah, your old legacy. If you like, he had respect and reverence for him. But if you disrespect me, I ain't scared of y'all. I'm not that generation with y'all that's shook of y'all. Nah. I was like that. So. And even when I got bigger, y'all gonna learn those stories where I made sure I never got too cocky from my old reputation that these young 12 and 13-year-olds won't clap me. Facts. Now, so I'm looking at him and I said, this fool is thinking I'm little JJ, right? Let's say that was my little nickname. This fool think I'm little JJ. Cause that's what he said. What's up, JJ? I'm like, nigga, my name, God Rashawn, like who? Oh, but that was intentional, right? So I said, this fool think I'm little JJ. You know? That's what I said, God. Don't little JJ will come clap your butt when you turn into big JJ. Facts, right? So I'm like, okay. So he said, I need to come here every night. I said, oh, okay. So I said, all right, I see what I rode. I said, okay. I turned the bike and I went back up to the little bit to the middle of the street and I parked and I just watched him, right? So I said, okay. I had to settle myself because that angered me. So now I want to shoot him, right? I literally want to shoot him because he really disrespect me, right? And Jerry don't know this. You learning this now. So but I still knew better because that's the thing. Jerry is legit. He's not no punk, but I don't know if he'll tell. Like, if I shoot him, I don't know if he'll tell the police that's who shot me or if he'll leave it to street code because he in the street, but he really not of the street. Meaning he's a football coach and like he's a straight shooter, but he hustling. So it don't really mix, right? So I don't know if he's really living the street code of that or if I'll shoot him and he'd be like, that's who shot me. Lil JJ shot me. You know my name, you know my government name and everything, right? So I'm like, I don't know if this dude gonna tell or handle in the street. And then plus the respect I have for him. So I was like, all right, I know what to do. So I got on the bike. I rolled up to the corner. He's standing there. He got fiends. He's serving fiends. I look. I went. He's here in the corner. I went, and this one corner here is here, and then it's this 4 corner, and then the dead end and the projects is right there. So I pulled up, and I got on the bike, and I just rolled in a circle right here. I just rolled the bike around in a circle, and he's standing there. He's making sales, and he's looking at me, right? He's looking at me. So I just take out my gun, right? And when I take out my gun, I see him. He goes to sell. He look, and he go. And I see his eyes go. His eyes went big. I took out my gun, and he looked. And I'm riding in a circle with my gun out, and he had this look. He looked at me. Yeah, Amar. He looked at me, and his look was like, you gonna shoot me, JJ? He's still looking at me like I'm a little kid. He like, you gonna shoot me, JJ? And I'm like, and I see the look, and I wrote, I said, this fool is in a time warp. I said, he does not understand. So he looking, and I just, blow, blow, blow. And I roll in a circle, and then the fiends scattered. Like, they just ran. And then he like, you know, he jumped, right? He's like, and then the fiends ran. And then I started riding towards him. He on the corner. I started riding the bike towards him. And I'm looking at him. And he's looking. And he got the thing. And he like, and I take the gun. And I go like this. Right? And he looking. And he go like this. He got the big bag of crack in one hand. And he go like this. And I go like this. And then I go, BOW! Over his head. Like, BOW! And he grabbed the crack and he like, I'm out of here. And then I roll. I said, bye, Jerry! Bow! Bye, Jerry! Bow! Shoot the tree. and he like, I'm out of here. And he just took off and he ran down. Now he's not running from me. He's running because the police is gonna come now. Cause I'm shooting up everything. Like it's just loud. Each bullet, and he just ran down the street. And I'm like, bye, Jerry! I'm like, see you tomorrow! And he left. Now, all the fiends left, we left. I got on the bike, I rolled back down to Mike and them, and they like, Mike went up, please tell me you didn't shoot Jerry White. He wrote him like, please tell me you didn't shoot Jerry White. I said, I didn't shoot Jerry White. He said, you sure? I said, yes, I would not shoot Jerry White. He's like, oh my goodness. Cause you be tripping, Ryan. You tripping, Ryan. You be going crazy. I'm just so glad. You sure you didn't shoot? I said, I did not shoot Jerry White, Mike. He like, okay. I said, but if he come back again, I don't know. He's like, he ain't coming back. I said, yeah, he ain't coming back. We just blew it up. He ain't coming back. Now, the next night, now we finished. Our night came. You know, we ended on all the fiends came back. Everything went back to normal, right? Then the next night when I pulled up, he wasn't there. Then the next night I pulled up, he wasn't there. Then about a week went past, he never came back. Then I heard about a week later. After that, I heard Jerry White is up on Terrace. Well, when he didn't come back a couple of days, it was like, because people always give me intel. Right? So they always tell me stuff like, Jerry's, he set up on Terrace. Well, I'm like, well, good. It's a free market on Terrace. He can sell his loose. Terrace is an open market. Just fiends everywhere, cars everywhere. He can do that loose stuff all day over there. Right? So then about 2 weeks later, they said he was over at the Shacks on the other side of my projects. I said, well, I don't care. As long as he stay over there. And I told my fiends, I said, if I hear anybody, that's when I said, if I hear anybody going over there to buy that loose from Jerry from the Shacks, when you stop, when he come back, y'all dead. I'm gonna teach y'all some doggone loyalty. Y'all not, I don't give a crap that they giving out loose. Well, guess what? When you ain't got no money, go see if he, you know what I mean? So I kept my, now. Okay, so he never came back. That was the end of the Jerry White, or so I thought. Nah. But yeah, shalom. So, yes, Amar, he tried to take over. So, it's 92 and I just got knocked. I had some krills of 380 mad weed, coke, and my 9 Glock. The story's true, not that fiction you hear. I grew up in the project slums, so these tools I just had to adhere. It's not a choice that I chose for me. This was chosen and predetermined by this ish called society. Facts. It's 92 and I just got knocked. I had some krills of 380 mad weed, coke, and my 9 Glock. Facts. That's the story when I was in the back when those police tried to kill me and kill me in the backyard of Shelly Shell House. That's that rhyme. That's that story. That's the stuff I had on the table. Watch that story on the channel when the police tried to kill me. Now, I go in. I'm in jail. I think I'm going to a visit. No, I'm coming back from a visit. I come back from a visit. They open the cage. I go into the cage. They open the cage. I walk in the cage. I'm stressed. My head down. I look up. And there's this 6'5", 280-pound monster looking at me with his foot on the bench like this with long locks. I walk in, I look up, and I'm like, whoa. He's standing there with his foot on the bench. He go, "What up, JJ?" And I go, "Oh, shit." I go, "Oh, ish." I'm trying not to curse. I go, "Oh, shh." Right? So I'm like, crap. I'm all, maybe 6 foot at this time, 5, 11, 12, whatever, 6 foot, maybe 170 pounds. This dude's 6'5", 280, all muscle. I'm like, shit. I'm like, oh, crap. I got no razors. I got no knife. I'm coming off a visit. When you go to a visit, they strip search you and make you, just what they do. That's why you don't want to go to jail, guys. They make you bend over, spread your butt cheeks. They look inside of your butt too. These people are crazy. They make you cough and all that stupid stuff. So you ain't got nothing, unless you swallowed a razor in some type of, balloon and tissue and wrapped the way they do that. Unless you swallow, it's in your cavity though. You still ain't got nothing. You're gonna have to go to the jail and poop it out, right? So you got nothing coming from a visit. So I got nothing. He knows it too. So I look at him and I'm like, oh my goodness. So now I'm like, okay, what can I do? So the only thing I could think, and y'all hear me say this a lot, the only thing I could think is that at some point I'm gonna have to hold on and just bite. Y'all hear me say it all the time. That's my last resort. I'm like, at some point, I'm gonna just have to hold on to him and just bite whatever I can get, whatever is by me. I'm gonna just bite down and don't let go. As they doom, these big Nephilim giants just pounding you, I'ma just don't let go at some point, because at some point it's only so much you can do when a person is that huge and that can fight. See, it's different if they that big and can't fight. Oh, I done fought some big, dudes. I got those stories coming. But Jerry can fight. Jerry a football player. Jerry ain't no punk. Right? So I'm like, I said, yo, what up? Right? So, I gotta fake it till you make it, right? It's not fake. I'm the truth, but you gotta survive these situations, guys. Remember, I got a story coming about Baltimore, Maryland, with Cameron from the Dipset, Killer Cam, from Mace and Cam and them, the rapper. Oh, I got a crazy Baltimore, Maryland story coming. But we'd have been done. You bet to use your intelligence in the situation and fake it. Boy, use it. So I stopped. I said, yo, what up? And he just looked at me. He's standing there. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's looking for intimidation. I don't know what he was doing. And then he just looked and he just shook his head like this. He looked like these kids. That's what he kind of looked at me like, these kids. And he just shook his head and then he just turned and sat down and just started talking to the dude next to him. And I looked at him and I said, all right, that's what's up. He ain't about to try to front on me. Because if he would have tried to front on me in that jail and tried to beat on me and I had to fight him or something, first of all, good move, Jerry. And thank you as well for not setting it on me, because I was already stressed out bad. And the last thing I needed was to fight some big 280-pound dude in this cell. So I do thank you for that. It was definitely a wise decision too, because if you would have fought me or maybe even kind of beat me up or something, I I would have definitely got my revenge back in the street, and I would have definitely clapped you. It might have ended up killing you by accident or something, end up in jail or whatever. But thank you, Jerry, for being the bigger person and just letting it go. And I also think maybe he gave me the pass because he knew I could have shot him on the street, and I didn't. You know, when I pointed the gun at to him, I seen his eyes. He had this hand up. He had the crack. He had this hand up, and he was just looking at me like you. He looked at me like, you really gonna shoot me, JJ? You know, like JJ, like, and I looked at him. He thought I was, and I said, boom, over his head. And that was just me showing him that, bro, you tripping. This ain't little JJ. You could have got. I had to drop on you. Like, don't make me do this. This is for real. You know, what you heard, the stories you heard about me shooting out with the stick up, this is for real, my dude. I'm crazy right now. I ain't little JJ. I ain't even Rashawn. I'm crazy. I don't know who I am at this point, because Rashawn is smooth and cool. You know, Rashawn ain't no troublemaker. I wasn't a troublemaker then, but I don't know. That gun was driving. Those stick up shootouts was driving me crazy. I was going insane. So I think he was giving me it was probably for that too. Everybody said Jerry ain't have the heart for it, it sounds like. Nah, yeah. So not the heart, meaning he ain't have the heart where he was a punk or something not to do it. I think it was that, Amar. I think it was like he realized, you know, I could have shot him and I didn't. And plus I think he also looked like this is little JJ. You know what I mean? Like, I can't beat up I can't fight little JJ, or, you know what I mean? Same way I felt like I couldn't shoot Jerry. That's how I felt. So, and Jerry's a good guy too, Amar. Like, I was a good guy. He's not a bad guy. I don't know why he didn't like me as a little kid for the football thing. I don't know what that was about. But he was a good guy. He's not a bad guy. People love him in the hood. So I think it was mutual, Amar. I think because when I was on the bike, I felt the same way. I'm like, I can't shoot Jerry. Like, I looked up to him. I had morals even when I was little. Yeah, Amar, exactly. So, sorry, Jerry, I said your name. I got to try to remember not say people's last name, but remember, he did his crime. He's legit. Later on in life, guys, when I owned my gym, when we owned, not a gym, we owned a barbershop. We Muscleheads Barbershop. I owned a barbershop. Me and my brother Czar from the Jamaica Shower Posse story, when we was going over the bridge, we ended up owning a barbershop called Muscleheads. It was called Muscleheads because the barbershop was upstairs and the gym was downstairs. Ultimate Gym was downstairs, and we had a barbershop, so we called it Muscleheads because people from the gym would come up and get their hair cut, right? And Jerry became a trainer. He was a weightlift trainer in that gym. So I used to see him and in the gym. And the funny thing was, we never, ever, ever, yes, Abayah, respect, we never, ever spoke again. We never said what's up to one another, but we would see each other. Like, when we would see each other in the gym, people would be around him. They would say what's up. Everybody would say what's up. We would just look at each other and just not say anything. And then when I was really doing my thing, the stories when I was like a kingpin, when I did my charge for it, when I was a millionaire doing my thing, when we would go to clubs every now and then, and Jerry became a bouncer. He would bounce at the clubs. So I remember we went to this club. This when I was rich. I was a millionaire, and we pull up, and when I got to the door, he was big, and I looked at him like, oh, this guy. And then, they paid, my boys paid, and we went in, and he would just look at me. And we just never said anything ever. He never said nothing to me. I never said nothing to him. So shout out to Big Jerry White. I hope you're doing good, King. He was doing good back then. He was bouncing and doing the security and personal trainer. Jerry was always a good guy, a straight guy, like hard working. He didn't have really like the life I had, but he grew up in the projects, in Martin Luther King Drive projects, across from Parkside projects. The D block, we call it, the drive. So I want to get yeah, Stretchy said, dang, Jerry was everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. Shout out to Jerry White, man. I hope you're doing good, King. Hopefully he's still alive. Somebody from Hempstead, let me know if he's still alive. Unique, somebody in the comment. Yeah, sorry I used your name, but Jerry White served his time. He's legit. He did his time for all his crime. He doesn't sell drugs anymore, and he was a good guy. Football coach, basketball coach, all of that. That was just a story, another true story of my encounter with Big Jerry White, 6'5". Somebody tell me how tall he is too. He's probably 6'6", 6'7". I think he's around 6'5", 280 pounds, all muscle. All right, guys. Hopefully that was entertaining, but it's the truth. So the thing about my stories, guys, they're just the truth. So I don't know how entertaining some of them are to you, but I just have to tell my truth, my testimonies. Now, I'm not promoting any drugs, any crime, right? Anybody. Don't go through the stuff I lived. I end up getting life bids. I end up losing my family. I lost my businesses, my money, my house. I lost everything I ever owned, even the things from my childhood, all my trophies. I have 0 things. For my only thing that the Most High saved was my photo album. So praise the Most High. I actually have pictures, receipts for these things. Other than that, I would have nothing. But I have nothing else from my childhood, not a trophy, not nothing. So, and I lost my kids, my family, and my life. The Most High gave me a second chance. I'm going to tell the 25 life stories too about going, the bid and going to court and how I got a second chance and able to tell these stories. Now, remember, guys, get a job. Don't do no crime. The drugs ain't worth it. It's quick money, but you pay for it in the end with your life. Like your family, like the stick-up kids that try to run. They think you got drugs and money. The police, they'll give you 20 to life. Like, it's not worth it. Your freedom is worth everything. I know people don't like this part when I try to give inspiration to the youth and to my brothers and sisters out there worldwide, every nationality, but that's what this is about. This ain't just about me telling my story. It's about a testimony how this person can live all of this dark life and still at the end, the Most High can have grace and mercy on him and allow him to clean up his life and try to become a citizen. I'm a little citizen now, like I'm a civilian, and actually tell stories to try to help the youth, not to go through what I went through. All right. Hopefully y'all enjoyed yourselves. For those people who watch this at home, from work and everything, hopefully you got a good hour and a half of a good story. All praises to the Most High. This was another true story about the God Rashawn and Jerry White on Parkside Projects in about 92. I think this was like 92 or 93. I think it was 92. And Amar said the past can be crazy, but all we can do is just laugh. Yeah, we made it through. And everyone has a story. All right? Why I said, I think you just finally wanted him to respect you, Yeah, I definitely wanted that respect. And it was just a situation. I didn't want to harm him. I just wanted him to, yeah, you're right? Just respect and understand. Zayana said he wanted to give you that pass because you gave him one. That's what I think as well. Yep. And I think he felt like I felt. Like, this is little JJ, and I felt like this is Jerry. It's Big Jerry. Like, I can't shoot Big Jerry. Like, all praise to the Most High that I always had empathy, a heart, moral. And that's why the Most High can use you, guys. He can't use you if you just wicked, just evil, no remorse, no compassion, no empathy, no morality. He can always use you no matter what you've done in your past. Repent for it and do better and try to do right. You know what I mean? You always got a second chance from the Most High. All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining me for this story. Another one down on Uncle Yahshua 25 to Life Tales. Now, next week, I got a crazy one. I think I'm going somewhere else. It's going to be very interesting, but it involves some real craziness. But I'm also about to go on a big channel soon, and I'm going to tell this crazy, like I said, Rakim from the Rakim wine dance story. But I think I'm going to tell a wine dance story next week here. Yeah, I think I'm going to tell a wine dance story that involves something about this wine dance, something that involves Tupac in the next week's story. I'm going to tell that maybe next week on Uncle Yahshua 25 to Life Tales. Another one down on Uncle Yahshua 25 to Life Tales. See y'all next Thursday, Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. for another live study. Thank you everyone who joined me. These stories help, these testimonies help someone else to understand if the Most High can change this fool with all these drugs and guns and all that life that I live, no parents in the projects, and now I'm a man of the Most High, teaching his children across the four corners of the planet Earth, teaching them spiritual warfare, teaching them how to be a rightful man, teaching them how to follow the laws of the scripture, of the Holy Bible, the Holy Scripture, our history book. They could change this fool? Oh, he could change you. You can be redeemed. That's what these stories is for. These stories is to show that if I can change, anybody can change. Facts. Because I felt like I was worthless. My parents didn't even love me. My mama didn't love me. My daddy didn't love me. But the Most High did? Yeah. He loves you too, guys. No matter what how nobody feel about you, you got a father, an Abba. I don't care what you call him. He does have a name, but you got to start, first of all, just knowing he exists. The name comes later. Know he exists, the Most High, something greater than yourself. Yeah, we didn't create ourselves. All praises to the Most High and his favor, grace, and mercy over us all. I got a ministry channel, Uncle Yahshua Mashiach Assembly Ministries, guys. Log on to that. You will learn a lot. It ain't no regular corny ministry. Oh, it's the bomb diggy. Facts. Our ministry is popping in these spiritual streets. Facts. Uncle Yahshua Mashiach Assembly Ministries. All right, guys. Another one down. Keep it functional. Uncle Yahshua 25 to Life Tales. See y'all next week, Thursday, Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Remember, guys, love y'all. All right, we out. I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. This is 25 to Life with Uncle Yahshua. You wanna know why they call me Lucky Luce? They call me Luce cause I like to tuck that Tucci. All the time on the grind, getting that Duce. This is a little story on 25 to Life with Uncle Yahshua. Like and subscribe for more incredible stories every week.
Police are on the scene of a triple homicide on Long Island. It happened overnight at a home in Hempstead.
I'm from Hempstead, Parkside, the ghetto, the dark side, strong, the wrong,